Hello, my cozy companions. Welcome to Cori's Cozy Chats. I have some stuff to talk about today, and I'm going to try my best not to cry. I seem to do that a lot on my vlog. But I just received my rejection from the job I was hoping for. And in a way, I'm relieved. Because in my gut, I knew I didn't want to disappoint them. And I also knew that I wouldn't stay there forever. I mean, that's not my dream job. But I did think it would be a good job, a good temporary solution, since we're so low on money. And my impulse is to just jump back on Indeed and keep applying. But that's also not what I want. I listen to Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty and his podcasts. And I've been listening to Mel Robbins and I don't know his full name, Lewis something. His podcast I haven't listened to quite as much, so I don't know what it's called. It's like the best, the school of, I don't know. But I don't want to fall back into the same patterns of working a job for a year, hating it, quitting, moving on to the next. That's why I wrote my book. That's why I started this YouTube channel. Neither which is providing me any money yet, and that's okay. Good things take time. But it is very difficult to want to keep going down this road of entrepreneurship. Because even though I love it, I love writing and I love my passions, it's hard. It's really hard. Financially, it's really straining. And it's just not where I saw myself 6 months ago, when I was spending money willy-nilly. I believed I would be receiving a bi-weekly paycheck and working my dream job way back when. I guess at this point it's like 7, almost 8 months ago. But that's not how things turned out. You can look at my past vlogs to see, but a quick little, I guess, long story short, I just didn't enjoy teaching anymore. I don't know, I think it was my passion at one point, because I thought, well, I can change the world by instilling like a motivational, supportive mindset in children. I can support them in achieving their dreams because I thought I had missed mine. I realized looking at my journals, my laundry just stopped. That was probably a good thing because you can probably hear me better. I realized when I looked back on all my journals that I talked a lot about writing and acting, and I just didn't believe in myself enough to actually pursue either of those. And now here I am doing both in a way. I don't know if I'd consider this acting, but I'm sharing my story. And at some point, I'd like to share more than just my story. I'd like to share, like the experiences that I believe everyone should get to go through. Like, I I wouldn't say like forcing my experiences on other people, but sharing things like, you know, hiking Kilimanjaro and what that realization brought me, going to a different country, totally different than the United States, and all the, I feel like that was one of the biggest things that changed who I was. And I think we continuously evolve. We keep changing, hopefully, to become a better version of ourselves. And this is just another one of those days that's going to push me to be that version that I want to become. So I'm fighting that impulse to go and jump back into the workforce. I'm still technically out there. I submitted so many applications that I'm receiving rejections on like a daily basis, but most of them I don't really care about. There's only a handful that I really did want, and this was one of them, because I thought, well, until I can get my book published and my app developed, until I can start my business, this would be good income, and I can work on my things on the side. But I do think this is forcing me to pick up the pace, and finish my book, which I've realized a lot of writers deal with this sense of like perfectionism. I just don't want to publish it because I feel like it continuously needs more improvement, but that's not the point. The point is to just get it out there, to be able to tell my story and be raw and real, be vulnerable. And I actually think I've been pretty good at being vulnerable. I discovered Brene Brown through my very inspiring mother when I was just a teenager, very suicidal. She always pushed TED Talks on me because she thought that was how, I mean, she did a lot of things, but TED Talks and healthy living was how she improved her health, her mental health. And so I think she thought that would do the same for me. And in a way it did. It just took a long time for me to actively listen and realize my own behaviors that are causing me to repeat negative patterns. So even though I was, crying because no one wants to be rejected, it sent me into a shame spiral where my little voice inside my head, my ego, is telling me, you're not good enough. No one's gonna hire you. Your degree is useless. I gotta fight that voice, and I gotta keep pushing the things that I really do want. I think I was rejected because my heart isn't in it. My heart doesn't want to go back. My heart wants to write my book, and so many others. And that means being patient and figuring out how to be smart with money, budget, and hopefully I'll get enough financial aid from going back to school to support us for a little while. I'm not sure it will be enough, so we'll have to figure something out, but I think that's my next step, is to just focus on where we're at right now. If I don't get another job, if I don't have income for the next 6 months, and I focus on these projects, which I'm pretty proud of myself. I have been focusing on these projects, but where will we be financially, and will we be able to continue to live here? And both Zach and I love our new home in Maryland. We don't want to leave. So there's a lot to consider. And it's hard when I'm considering those things to shush that voice in my head that's, that's being very negative. But hey, I'm grateful they told me today, because they told me it could be a couple weeks, and I'm not waiting another week to find out. And I'm grateful I didn't get the job. Even though it's gonna make things harder, it's pushing me by putting a little fire under my butt and making me do what I actually want to do. And that's a good thing. Sorry, I thought I saw a bug. Anyways, I'm not gonna go back on Indeed. In fact, I'm gonna go and delete Indeed. I do think LinkedIn is really productive, and I haven't really been using it too much for job applications, but I think if I can continue to use my LinkedIn probably on a weekly basis to at least maintain it, that'll help me when I actually am able to publish my book, which will hopefully be within the next few months. I keep sending more and more revisions because I wrote this book really fast, and I feel like it was such a sloppy beginning that every time I receive it, I'm like, I need to fix it. So this is my last round of revisions that's free, and I've decided to just put my all into it, and after I submit it this time, I'm not gonna keep dwelling on it. I'm gonna read it one more time, and I'm gonna publish it. Yeah. So that's where I'm at. I don't know if I have much more to say about my job journey, which, like I said, you can go see the long story on another video that I published. But today we're moving on. I have accepted what is, and I'm excited to keep going with what I'm passionate about, with my passion projects. So, to continue our healing process, I'm going to open up our next card. Today, we'll talk about lies. What do you often lie about? I lie about wanting to work. Well, that's not true. I lie about what I want to work on. Because I lie in my interviews. I don't know. I think a lot of people lie on their interviews and their resumes. Excuse me. That's just the first thing that comes to mind, because that's obviously what I'm going through right now. But what I really want to do is to help people, to guide people once I can guide myself. And I'm really curious about psychedelics. So I've been looking into, once I finish my master's in management and leadership this year, I've been looking into getting a certification or pursuing another degree in alternative healing, which I'm interested in other things too. I'm especially interested in psychedelics and how it can heal people with mental health issues, because that's what I suffered with. But I also believe nutritional health, physical health, all of those things really contribute to your mental health. So I want to get educated in those things as well. Which, thinking about, it's like all these things cost money to go and learn, so we'll get there when we get there, and hopefully my book will generate some sort of income so I can continue pursuing my own education so that I can educate other people. And eventually, it'd be really cool if I could be some sort of guru or spiritual guide and help people with like an all-encompassing holistic approach to health. And we talk about holistic medicine, but a lot of people kind of stop when it comes to like, I don't know, I think people consider like physical health, you go to the doctor, but there's also prevention. And some people think that's just like one piece where it's your nutrition or your physical activity. But I think the holistic approach is so much more than that. I think it includes that spiritual aspect, whether that's religion or just energy. Like I am so excited to learn more and more about energy. The energy that makes up humans and that connects us. And I've already been reading books about it, and it excites me. It's what I want to pursue. So that's what I lie about probably the most. Since I've started reading, like Brene Brown, when my mom introduced it when I was younger, I think it was Brene Brown that talked about lying, or it could have been another author, but I didn't read too many self-development books when I was a teenager. Mostly I read like Sarah Dessen and like romantic novels, fiction novels, and then I switched to self-development around 17, 18, and then I started teaching and I kind of just stopped reading. And I would say I probably lie about that too. When I was not reading as much, I still considered myself a reader, and I said I read all the time. Everyone would be like, what are your hobbies? And I'd say reading, even though I just kind of stopped. I don't think I really try not to lie. The other thing would be I'd lie about sick days a lot, but I don't know if I'd consider that a lie either. I'd usually just say it was like a physical thing when a mental thing was going on. Yeah, I wish I had more to add there, but, well, maybe, I don't wish I had more to add there. I don't want to be considered a liar. True to self. Do you ever feel like you're not being true to yourself? I feel like this whole video explained that. I think I'm true to myself when I'm around my husband and my friends, but I do think we have different versions of ourselves. Like, I'm a very introverted person. Again, I've mentioned this before, but I am trying to stay away from labels. But for the purpose of this video, I like to be alone. But when it comes to my husband, like, I have a version of me that I am around him, although he gets to see all the different versions of me. And usually that's actually a more spicy version of myself. I'm a little sassy with my husband, and with my friends, I'm a lot more positive. Certain qualities come out more when I'm in different situations. When I'm not being true to myself, usually it has to do with work. It has to do with going to work and showing up every day. And that being said, I still want to work in my life. I love work. I love learning. So I want a job that I can continue to keep learning. All right, let's do our third one. Last one. Hidden self. What parts of yourself do you feel you have to hide from your family? My spirituality, actually. When I was younger, not even younger, it's always kind of been a thing where my family's been a little judgmental when I talk about that stuff, in a like nice teasing way. They're like, we don't want any of that hippy dippy shit. And it was supposed to be funny, but it always came off as, well, they don't accept that part of me. And it has gotten better. I wouldn't say I feel comfortable sharing this sense of connectedness with them, because I don't feel like they want to participate in it, and I don't want to shove it on them, because I know what it feels like to have something you don't believe in shoved on you. My family being so religious, I've been forced to attend, gosh, I don't even remember what it's called. It's like the women's group at the Mormon church when I was younger, and yeah, I've always hidden, when it comes to my extended family, I actually feel like I've hidden a lot more of who I am when I go see them. So there's that. Yay. Today is going to be a good day. It already has been a good day. We went to the park. We saw our friends very quickly in passing. Yesterday, I signed thank you to the guy who helped me. He was deaf. So I tried to, make him feel like I saw him for who he was. He was silly too. It was funny. Something I've noticed about people who are deaf is I feel like they're always goofier than, like, I almost said real people. We're all real people, than hearing people, because I think they're so much more expressive, and in a way they're like more honest because they use facial expressions a lot more than hearing people do in general. And like I grew up with, I had a deaf uncle. Well, I have a deaf uncle. I haven't seen him in so long. And my best friend's parents were deaf, and then when I went to high school, I chose sign language as my language, and we used to go to all sorts of deaf events. But I haven't maintained my sign language really well, and I'm trying to refresh it so I can learn it again. So yeah, I just think deaf people are cooler than hearing people sometimes. And deaf people have a community. They feel connected, even just through their community. And I think I've always been a little bit jealous of that, because I want a community. Anyways, thanks for listening to my very off-topic conversation. I don't know if I'd say I'm getting better at these, but they're definitely getting easier to talk to the camera. And one day I'll be 80 looking back on my videos, probably through some sort of holographic screen. And I'll appreciate that I was true to myself. I already do. I believe in you. I believe in you. And I believe in me. We're doing this. Go drink your water. I've already had a bottle and a half. I have to have 3. I'm not doing a gallon for my, I think I mentioned out on Friday, I'm doing the 75-day hard challenge. So it says a gallon, but I only weigh 100 pounds. So my stomach was hurting, and Zach said that's probably too much. So we thought 3 of my 32 ounces, so 96 ounces of water instead of a gallon. Anyways, peace out. See you next time.